Good morning, freedom fighters. It is 10:46 a.m. East Coast time, April 29th, 2025. Some very dangerous storms out there, my friends. Please be safe in these areas. Constant flooding over Oklahoma. Yes, very unusual radar activity that is creating these storms. Let's zoom in on it. Microwave energy, lasers, whatever you want to call all this mess, it needs to be shut down. We have the scientists talking about how they can create weather with lasers and microwave energy. These technologies was developed to control our weather, not to seed the rain. There's no reason for next RAS to be 35 miles apart or whatever these are. They're very close together. The beams of energy that's shooting through these storms is truly powerful. We have no information from what these devices can truly do to these storms. No one can say the weather is normal anymore. Take that from a commercial fisherman that has watched it his entire life. Third generation commercial fisherman, we no longer recognize our oceans or weather system. Our oceans are depleted to nothing from their so called red tides. Let's look at the big picture of the machine working. They turn it on and off at will to energize our atmosphere when they spray the chemicals, the nanoparticle metals and chemicals in our atmosphere. These machines can control our atmosphere. They will create weather in places that has never seen such weather. Due to copyright strikes, I don't mind the copyright issue. Somebody can remove my video, but when they put strikes against my thing, and this company that did that on my thing is suing news broadcasting companies. It's a big deal. But if they give me two more strikes, I will not have a platform, which this was all an experiment. Twitter was an experiment. When they took me off Twitter with 20,000 followers, I was expecting it. I was saying stuff against their programming. My aunt in Georgia was surprised that Twitter kicked me off. She thought Elon was such a good guy, and I'm like, there's false prophets, false saviors here. Nothing was here to. They're not. There's no plan to rebuild anything. Why is everything so glitchy too? I had just cleared my computer completely out because there's so much going on with it right now. Well, I got a copyright and an email the next day saying that YouTube will no longer. Oh, it's just not working. YouTube will no longer give me my verification status where I can't leave links, I can't pin comments no more. That's twice this year. Who's been taken away twice now, making me jump through hoops? It's their platform. It's not YouTube, it's their tube. And they're also controlling our weather with these technologies. Undeniable that these are happening with these technologies. Storms over and over again, rebuilding. Multiple flashes from multiple different technology, weather controlling satellites. We don't see the whole picture here. You know what I'm saying? All these machines are lit up for a reason. Computer control system here. There's no man going over there with a joystick saying we want the storm to move this way. It's all computer. Massive computer, size of Walmart's. The system is. Look up Google warehouses. You want to see the data collection centers. That's data being collected on you. Every single human on the planet that messes with this stuff. We are in trouble, my friends, while they have everybody saying, look over here at the left hand, while the right hand screws you. And we got a saying, man, that you got to watch that kind of stuff, man. They think they're going to help us, and they never do. Oh, help's on the way. Help's on the way. While you're drowning. The worst fear of a commercial fisherman is man overboard and fire. Fire on the vessel is scary, but man overboard is terrifying to hear those words. Right now, we are at that point. Man overboard. We need help. We're not going to get it from these politicians or these so-called saviors. There's no Iron Man. There's no Captain America coming to save us. They have us arguing over everything they can come up with while they control the weather. Wait till hurricane season. My cousin in Georgia, when I said those attacks were man-made, she was speechless. She don't have anything to say for it because her media says it's all natural. It's climate change. She's already been told what it is. While we have all the patents, I've showed it all. And I reviewed over 400 videos, maybe more on YouTube, and it's just trying not to get copyright strikes. Copyright. If 2 more strikes, they'll just remove me for no reason. Twitter removed me with 20,000 followers for no reason. I'm amazed I'm able to show you this technology at all. Let's go to live satellite from hundreds of miles out in outer space. The last 6 hours, you can see how these storms regenerate over the same area. Nothing natural, not daytime heating. With trillion-watt lasers, so-called, which a trillion is almost 32,000 years, a trillion seconds is, which is unheard of amount of power. But it's a scientist's words, not mine. But these storms regenerate here. Look at that. That is not natural. These storms form out of nothing. When I drove to Georgia the other day, it was the most chemtrails and stuff you ever want to see. It was sickening. And when I got to Georgia, the trees, where I was in Georgia, South Georgia, the trees looked terrible and a lot of wind damage from the hurricane. But their trees look pretty healthy still up here. Lots of birds, like I showed in my previous video. The sound of birds like it used to be in Florida. But very heavy chemtrailing the day before when I drove up. I lost my birth certificate in the flood, so I had to go get a new one. Moving on. This year we will have storms, fire, wind, flood, droughts. We haven't hardly had a drop of rain here in Florida without their permission. Nothing natural about our weather systems anymore. We haven't had hardly a drop of rain where I live. I seen there was a little bit of rain tonight. Look, it just peters out. We don't get a drop of it. I'm just trying to see when that was exactly. I just drove all the way down. I didn't see any rain last night, not a drop. You can see the technology in Florida while that's going on too. The beams. I guess there's no storms anymore without beams shooting through it, creating it. Weird outflow boundaries. Storms are just not moving like they used to. They're like united, and I don't know. It's just really weird. Incredible amount of energy being used in the storms. Stuff needs to be shut down. Very dry in Georgia. The river's flooded, but the swamp's dry. They haven't had any rain in this area except for all the water's coming down the mountains and the river system. Where do we go from here? I see why a lot of sites is dead. There's probably hundreds of sites like mine trying to get the word out through the years. They give up. One thing you're not getting out to anyone. 1,000 views ain't nothing. I got 1,000 people in my neighborhood here. We're not getting out to anyone, my friends. None of us are. So much I see, I don't understand why we're building a $4.2 million fire station for 18,000 people. Greed is our downfall. 4 walls. Why has it got to be $4 million for a fire station? It looks like it's something out of the Hollywood, and it's just a little town. Newport Richie's not very big. Excessive spending for no reason while they control our weather and poison our planet. Very neat last night, what I seen. Coming through the Okefenokee Swamp last night, where there were a few insects, but it was something going on with the fireflies, or lightning bugs, we've called them. It was sparkly all through the dark highway, the very dark highway. No land lights whatsoever there. When I got out the truck, it was just brilliant. Stars, beautiful stars in the swamp. But every once in a while, one of these bugs would hit the windshield and it would just glow for about a minute or so. It was just unique. I've only seen that a few times, but it was something going on with these insects that night. It was amazing how many was out. Even though I really didn't see a whole lot of other bugs, but the fireflies was definitely in the Okefenokee Swamp area. All the way to the Georgia-Florida border, and once I crossed the border, I didn't see any more fireflies, and I didn't see any bugs. I didn't see anything. We have neutered Florida, like I said. To say the least, we're having problems with our insects. There is none here in Florida like they were when I was a kid. And we're just poisoning everything. Not a big deal. It's just our lives. Greed, man. Chemically neutering ourselves over the greed of money. Controlling our weather over the greed of money. They've destroyed all of our businesses, seafood, farming, for a reason. I cannot provide seafood for a reason when they kill our oceans off. And took my job away the whole time while they claim it's overfishing. I told my aunt in Georgia if I didn't know anything about geoengineering and was living in Georgia still, I would think everything's just fine. It's beautiful. I do not see the death in Georgia I see in Florida for whatever reason. Maybe it's the amount of spraying we get compared to them. Very warm weather in Georgia when I was up there for the 2 days. Florida's no different. It's very warm for April. I can only imagine what August, July, and August is going to be like. This is kind of what this is supposed to be. The ships is also back in the Pacific Ocean. This is not natural going out here and doing loops. It's ships out here. These people need to be arrested. My uncle's like, there's nothing you can do about it. But I'm like, 340 million Americans stand up if we could do something about it. They want to make sure you think that there is nothing you can do about it. Without help, they're correct. If everybody sits on their butt and says there's nothing we can do about it, there's definitely nothing we can do about it. Like trying to dig a hole without grabbing the shovel. It's not going to happen. Okay, I went back 2 days where I flew. When I drove to Georgia. Boy, I can't speak. It was very heavy chemtrailing that day. Very unusual amount of trails, and I hope some people noticed it. A lady brought this up on Dr. Phil. You talking about with Robert Kennedy on there? You talking about some uncomfortable people all of a sudden? But when I drove to Georgia, it was crazy. And this was at AM. I hadn't even left the house yet. But all this is every bit of this is aircraft trails. And I left the house about 11:30. Yeah, that didn't work out. Ripples in the sky. Anyhow, my friends, let me see, says the blind man. Okay, I got a strike. It was just a drone video where they destroyed Minnesota Key. Not a big deal. They could tuck it off, but a strike's a big deal. Here's the people that gave me the strike. When I Google search them, I don't really get the company so much, but look at the lawsuits versus Interactive One or whatever that is, environmental. These are lawsuits against these people, or these people are suing these people, Joe Page Media. And there's the reason I deleted 400 videos, just trying not to get removed. I don't know who these people are, but they're obviously part of the system. Before I let you go, I want to thank each and every one of you for your incredible contribution. Y'all are the only reason the lights are still on in this place. I have failed this year miserably because of my industry. For someone that has worked so hard and the oceans have provided so much in my life, for it not to be there anymore is truly breaking. I am heartbroken, to say the least. But I want to thank each and every one of you. The list is too great to list on here, but you know who you are. You have helped someone that truly needed it. And I want to thank y'all, whether I get removed today or tomorrow, but it will be removed. I cannot leave links anymore anywhere, but in my description there is a couple, I think. And Rumble, if I get removed, I'm on Rumble as well. I just don't communicate on that side as much. Just a last thought for everybody. Incredible people out there trying to help us, and we're all getting shadow banned. Robert Malone has gave some great information here of what all the systems created for. It is for them to control us. This is not our platforms. Even though it says you in there, it's actually them. With that note, Commercial Fisherman standing by. Thank you to everyone listening to my voice. Y'all are the resistance. They need to be millions to billions of us to take our lives back. Hell is coming on earth, and I can see it. Starvation is the lead of it. Lead bullets and bombs are obsolete, my friends. It's technologies and starvation headed our way. Commercial Fisherman standing by. Sorry to bring so much grief in my channel, but it is the truth. Commercial Fisherman out.